Yeah, in socialist countries, there's 100% employment and everything's milk and honey. No, that's not how it works. It's so foolish, folks. They don't know about the rationing, the year and a half for a brain surgery that, you need to get in 2 months or you're dead. They have no idea about the incredible unemployment. They have no idea about the hellishness. They have no idea because they're taught in government public schools that it's going to be milk and honey. So see, everybody's hard work. It's not the globalists' fault for destroying our currency and shipping our jobs overseas that hardworking people can't get ahead. No. It's anybody that's got a better job or more money than you do. People making $125,000 a year individually or $250,000 in a couple. That's who he's saying rich, people that aren't exempt. You understand? That's who the ultra rich are targeting, is the middle class. And then he's talking about the middle class like he's trying to save it.
If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help.
Well, yeah, but does that mean that, you're paying them, it's a free system, and believe me, you work hard in my operation, you get paid more, you move up. That's how things work. If the company keeps growing, but see, he's a globalist, they cheated everybody and shipped the jobs overseas.
There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive.
That allowed you to thrive. By the way, and this is the most important point, every place like New York, Chicago that they control is a hellhole for the general public and super hard to make it unless you're part of a special, class like Wall Street. And believe me, that's a special clique to get into, the highest levels of that. We've interviewed all the top people. So again, here they are creating this system where the mega banks get free money and we don't, but nobody knows about that real form of discrimination. Here are the banksters declaring they've conquered the world, and Obama is talking about how you didn't get there. He says, if you've got a business, you didn't build that. That's a quote. Somebody else made that happen. That's a quote. If you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. Continuing, again, the state is not God. It creates nightmares 98% of the time. And if for brief times it doesn't, then later that same system becomes corrupt. And it is so amazing to see this happen. Nobody wants to live in the cities that these guys control. They're absolute hellholes when the big city mafia model gets in control. And everybody's running from those states and those cities. And the globalists, again, hate this country. They want to collapse it so they can control it. And it is so disgusting to see Obama up there pushing this when it is not the free market that did this. It's the people that control him that engineered it on record as a planned global meltdown. And now they're going to offer socialism and then communism as the solution to the crisis they created when they're offshore and globalist and exempt from the communism they're bringing into Western Europe and the United States, which is nothing but a takeover and a re-education of the country and a breaking of the back of the independent spirit. He's coming to Austin, Texas. In fact, he's here right now. He just landed. And we're sending our crew out. We'll have that for INFOWARS Nightly News tomorrow night. Shutting down 290, I-35, much of downtown. Most of the businesses are shutting down for the day. And the Secret Service just says, don't come downtown, slaves, because the puppet of the New World Order is coming to town. And again, much of the businesses have shut down. There's a story on that in the Statesman. They're having all these security checkpoints and all this stuff to keep him safe, to create the illusion that he actually controls things, that he's actually, running things, so the banksters don't actually get identified. That's just some of what they're going to shut down downtown and the major highways. It's just pathetic what we've been conditioned to accept, the TSA sticking their hands down our pants. This is an illegitimate federal government. It's been captured by foreign banks, that spies on us illegally, that tortures and kills people illegally, NDAA, that engages in all these insider deals, giving trillions to their buddies. It must come to an end. And more government is not the answer. It's that simple. And they have domesticated all these people to use them as an army to suck out the rest of the substance of this country, and then the globalists will just move on to the next host nation. That is their program. That is their plan. Be aware of it and fight it. I'm Alex Jones signing off for INFOWARS.com. Find out more about books that expose it at INFOWARSshop.com. None Dare Call a Conspiracy, and others.
Actually, that whole thing may be a little harsh on Obama. I know he's really trying to do things to turn the country around. In fact, while we were playing that video, I got a call from Alex. He's put up a new video. He's really had a change of heart. Let's hear what he has to say now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to repent here on air, and I want to apologize to Mr. President, Mr. Obama. The buck really stops with him, and he really cares about us. That's why Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and all these foreign banks financed him and Bush and Romney, because they're good people. And I want to apologize that earlier today, I put out this video, Obama says the state is God, because I was critical there. But I had a conversion, and I want to apologize right now for this video. And I just want to say that I shouldn't have talked about this dear, sweet man that the international bankers put in charge of us. They did it because they care. And yes, he says repeatedly, quote, if you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. You're absolutely right. None of us did anything but government. Thank you so much. In fact, right now, I just want to say I'm sorry to you and all the other bureaucrats and people that work so hard and are so good and are so creative and have always been so nice to me. Thank you for life itself. Thank you for creating the planet. Thank you for letting my parents conceive me and my great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents who had great-great-grandparents. Thank you. You've just helped me all along. I love how here in Austin, big mega corporations like Apple and Formula One get total tax exemption, and taxpayer money pays for them to move here. But then I went and asked about a tax exemption. I've got now about 45 crew members, and I was told go to hell and laughed at by people that I used to see as arrogant. Now I realize they just are smarter than me and understand I'm filth. Thank you for letting me know I'm filth. Thank you for taking my tax money to move General Motors to China. I know you knew best. Thank you for the great job you've done. We were #1 in test scores back when we didn't have government schools 67 years ago. Now we're the lowest in the industrial world, behind more than 30 third world countries. Thank you. Thank you that when you go out in public, they look like they've been hit by a retardation ray. Thank you. You're really doing a great job. Of course, dumbing us down on purpose because you're our rulers. I mean, excuse me, that's the old Alex. I'm sorry. Thank you for creating milk and honey in the streets, sir. I mean, like you said, everybody who has a business knows they've got to give back. Paying on average over 50% taxes isn't enough, and giving people jobs and, putting up with all the stuff. I mean, that, working 18 hours a day, it's because of you, sir. Reading off a teleprompter, vacationing over 100 days a year. You deserve it.
We created a lot of millionaires. And there are a lot of wealthy, successful Americans who agree with me because they want to give something back. They know they didn't.
Oh, we created a lot of millionaires. I guess you kind of did by devaluing the currency the last 10 years. They didn't want it used to be, I guess, to be a millionaire, I've read. But, here you have it. And he goes on, let's face it. I mean, we didn't build the business. Here it is.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own.
No. And he just goes on. So, yeah, if you got a beautiful voice, you're a great painter, or you're a great dancer, or you're a woman who goes out and, sells her body, or a woman who goes out and paints paintings, or a man who goes out, whatever it is. You're an NFL player who goes out and sells his talents and sells his body to get broken up. You didn't do it on your own. You got that? Of course, the coaches and everybody else got paid, and they made money off of you, but that isn't enough. You need to pay the foreign banks that most of our taxes are paid to now on record. Even Ronald Reagan's own commission, the Grace Commission, found they go to foreign banks. More needs to go to them who are tax exempt because he cares about poor people, even though he's financed by the bankers who are tax exempt. Thank you, sir, for the NDAA and the drones and the checkpoints and giving the illegal aliens health care when you wouldn't get jack crap in Mexico if you went down there as a U.S. citizen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You didn't get there on your own. I'm always...
Yeah, no, well, sure. I guess our parents, I guess all the taxes we paid already, none of it's enough, is it? Notice we have bigger government we've ever had in this country, and the prosperity's going out the window. And all the big government types that run cities like Chicago and New York, everybody wants to get the hell out of them. So the OECD and the UN and the IMF World Bank say they want a global government, so there's nowhere to run. And I agree, nowhere to run, 100% taxes. It's great when the Soviet Union takes over and kills tens of millions, starving them to death and working them to death in work brigades. When China did it and killed over 60 million in just a 10-year period, 64 million. Mao Zedong, wonderful guy. I mean, I was wrong all these years. The state is God. You are God, Obama. The derivatives we've been signed on to, the now 40 plus trillion in banker bailouts to the mega banks as direct taxes to them. All the police and bureaucrats and being talked down to like I'm filth. Thank you. I needed to know that. You're right. We need more government. UN diplomatic communities, they can run drugs and run child sex slaves and everything else. I guess I was a bad person for not liking that in the past and knowing the UN's running giant murder operations worldwide while models run around on TV telling us give money to UNICEF so they can kill kids. I was wrong to be against all that. All the art, all the literature, all the culture, because he goes on to say that came out of the government. So thank you. Thanks for all the monopolies and giving insider deals to your friends. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that's why all governments get these control freak classes in power and things get out of control. And whether it's the Druids or whether it was the Aztecs or the other Mayan cultures or the Babylonians, every culture, including the Romans and the Greeks, had human sacrifice because government starts demanding your firstborn kids be chopped up, and they would kick the meat down the steps at Chichen Itza and other areas in Mexico, and then people would come up and pay. The priests made their money, that was their tax, off the succulent child's meat. And again, I shouldn't be against that. Government produces so much. Every government in history finally gets crazy control freaks in charge who start demanding we sacrifice ourselves on bloody altars or in big wars. And again, I apologize. I was wrong all along. You're right. Thanks for all the dependency in the general public that can hardly talk now in the giant sprawling inner cities crumbling and rotting and everything falling apart. The people run to the few states that aren't like that, like Texas and other areas, but the bureaucrats all run here like a horde of magic-loving locusts to eat our flesh down to our bones politically, sending out swarms of bureaucrats to eat out our substance. Oh, but that's the Declaration of Independence. Thank you, Obama, for teaching me that America was really bad. Thank you for teaching me that it was scum. But calling total communist world government run by offshore fascists who are exempt. Oh yeah, fascism's above the communism and then is exempt from it. Carol Quigley wrote that at Georgetown, but all you political idiots who were taught in public schools comment on this YouTube video or at INFOWARS Nightly News and say that I don't understand that communism or fascism are two different things. No, they're not, you idiots. Anyways, you're just taught that in the false paradigm. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Fascism and communism are good now. I agree with Obama. Again, secret arrests, all of it being lied to, warrantless wiretapping, everything diametrically opposed to what this country was founded on. Oh, it's so American to have FEMA demonizing the founding fathers. So thanks for all that is good. Thank you for being God. Thank you for teaching me that the state is God. I apologize to you. I worship you, Barack Obama. Like they said during the election in 2008, they said you might be Jesus in the news. And I guess you are. And they said they would arrest people if they criticize you. So I just worship you and thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for the grass growing. Thank you for the birds tweeting. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for the ocean. Thank you for all the beautiful government buildings and the great service and just all of it. And thank you for what you do to humanity, taking any future destiny away and taking any rugged individualism away. Thank you for what you've turned America into and the rest of the world. We can just look at it and thank you for how beautiful it is. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I apologize to all of you. You're right. You're right. This is a beautiful system you've created.